let me just say this point and you can challenge me if you want. The concept that we are taught today of
Who's we?
in society today,
Which society?
Western society,
No,
this
no,
world
no,
today.
There isn't a particular society. They're all
Okay,
different societies.
the way we are brought up here in London,
I'm not brought up differently from you. I'll tell you that for start.
no problem. So let me give you my view.
Your view. That's
My
fine.
view,
Yeah, I'll listen to
right?
you.
And let's see if you guys want to challenge it. We are taught, or I am taught, or I was taught, there is such a thing as evolutionary humanism. You can be a human being who believes in right and wrong and good things and be an atheist. And what I'm saying is that's total garbage.
There's no.
I'll tell you why. Right and wrong is like color perception. That leaf is not green. Green is the color that bounces back at me.
Well, if you're colourblind.
So a dog will see that maybe as gray or something else. So morality is nothing but an illusion of the genes to help you survive.
No. Morality depends on the society in which you're brought up in. Always did.
I agree. I'm not saying anything different to that. So where are we disagreeing?
But you're saying you're saying that
Yes, I am, yeah.
there is an absolute right. There is no absolute right. As far as I know.
You're wrong in thinking that an atheist can be a humanist and can be a good person
Why?
because can believe in good, because from an atheistic perspective, right and wrong, good and bad, rule of law, morality.
Because you aren't one. I am, and I'm saying you're talking rubbish.
Atheism
Absolute rubbish.
has got nothing to do with morality.
I agree.
It's got nothing to do with chemistry.
No.
It's got
It
nothing
cannot
to do
justify
with
it.
evolution. No, because it is an answer to one specific
Do you
question.
believe in God? No.
It's like saying, for instance, what can biology teach us about astrophysics? Nothing, because it's not. They're completely different questions. Atheism is whether there's God or not, right?
Do I believe in mermaids?
Sure.
No.
Sure.
It's got
Doesn't
nothing
Do you-
affect
so-
my
So
morality.
it's beyond the purview of
Exactly.
atheism to have a view on anything. It does not, because I'm an atheist, it doesn't give me a view on a tree. That would be humanist or evolutionary or whatever. That would have nothing to do with atheism.
Nothing.
Okay,
That
so
tree would still be every single thing in my life.
So
That
you
is
believe
not involved, whether it is God or not, has got nothing to do with my atheism.
okay, so
It doesn't make any strictures. one
sure.
way or another.
I heard you the first
It could be a
time.
nice atheist,
So,
it could be a bad atheist.
do you believe that belief have implications?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm just asking you a pure question here. The consensus amongst evolutionary psychologists.
You don't know them all. You don't know them all.
I haven't said anything yet.
You don't know. You can't speak for a group of people you do not know.
What do you call
Okay,
it?
sure. But if I'm
If you some,
so,
some
no, I'm going to say a consensus.
But it's not true.
I'd say there's no such thing
No
as
such thing.
evolutionary
There is
psychologists, but anyway.
no such thing.
Okay, I agree with you there because for other reasons. But evolutionary psychology, as a general field,
What is
What
evolutionary
is
psychology?
evolutionary to psychology?
Okay.
It doesn't exist.
Sir,
don't know what you're talking
okay,
about.
look, what it does is this. It looks at the evolution of our psychology, of our
How
morals,
can you do
of
that?
our belief
How can you do
systems.
that?
Well, they do that. It's a
That's
field.
philosophical.
Yes, but
That's not. That's
It's-
not.
it's science.
That would just be the history and philosophy of,
Exactly.
of psychology.
No.
That would not.
Not psychology.
That would not be the evolution. Because you add in the evolutionary thing, that is adding
a
an
word.
extra concept where you can chuck in religion, and you can chuck in views, and you can chuck in everything else. Basically, you are talking the history of psychology. You are not talking. Okay, it does evolve in a certain way, but what you're using the word evolution
In a
as
strange
and
way.
trying to sort of, in a strange way, to go, oh well, if we got evolution in the whole business, then it's got to be anti-God or whatever.
No, I'm not.
Evolution
The
is to do with
history.
development. That's all.
If you just said the history of psychology, or the history of morality, or the history of whatever, fine. But if you go the evolution, you're then putting in this extra thing that doesn't exist in evolution, which is the fact that evolution is working. This idea that evolution is working towards a point or a goal, which it isn't.
I agree. It's
Yeah, but I just think your wording, you're trying to obfuscate.
No, but firstly, let me break down each step because I don't want to. Maybe if I say 2-3 things, you'll challenge each one. Firstly, there is such a field as evolutionary psychology.
Yeah, but I don't know what it means.
Oh, one at a time. So
He doesn't know what
the,
it means.
the field exists, yes or no?
I doubt it.
Tell us.
Okay. Okay, it does. You can look it up. There's books in it. Okay.
What does it mean?
Okay.
Tell us.
Okay.
What does it mean?
I hope you don't hit me with a stick. What it basically means is this. It means when psychologists are trying to look at the evolution of our brain and the way that we look and the way that we actually behave and why we actually behave in this particular way. And the most predominant view in evolutionary psychology is the view of the selfish gene, the famous Richard Dawkins view, which is that we exist and all of our actions fundamentally is about survival of our genes or a maladaptation of them. Not in the organism, the genes, right?
This is a
So
generalist
for
thing, not a
example,
particular one.
something like rape would be explained by evolutionary psychologists as a survival mechanism for evolutionary losers.
No.
That's the
You
field I'm
see,
speaking about.
You can't equate what people do, like the average person, with what is really going on. The evolutionary psychology, as you put it to me,
Do you get my point?
is an absurdity.
Yes, but we're beyond the biology.
The biology is so complex in the brain.
I mean, people
they
have
don't
been
even
trying
understand
this,
it yet.
and I mean,
Still not understood.
yeah, I mean, it's one of those slightly sort of dodgy bits of science where
Very
there's nothing
dodgy.
proved on either side, because you're basically saying because men are big and hairy, we have dominance over women or whatever, because we're the more powerful ones. That's now slightly out the window. I mean, since women have been able to get guns, they're more, their ability to be more equal is sort of more in this country they are legally equal.
No, what I'm actually speaking about, I agree with you totally. You can't.
It's a very
Look,
dodgy.
No, sir, I agree with you totally. You can't get a value from a fact, right?
Eh?
You can't get a value from a fact.
How do you mean?
So what I mean is, just because the supposed theory says that we evolved in this way doesn't make us right or wrong.
It's hypothesis, not theory.
We agree there, right?
Yeah.
Right. But what I'm actually speaking about is something slightly different. I'm not speaking about can we get values from facts. What I'm speaking about is this. According to evolutionary psychologists, right and wrong is an illusion to help you survive. That's all it is.
It's an illusion for everybody. It's an illusion for everybody. We're all equal.
No, that is the view.
No, the point
well,
is,
they're wrong.
there are
I mean,
relative rights and relative wrongs.
I agree they're wrong. I agree. But what I'm saying is, the way that we are taught today, the idea of evolutionary humanism,
Who's we?
as people.
Nobody's
I
taught
don't get told
evolutionary
like it.
humanism.
Who's
Sorry?
we?
Nobody's taught.
Okay, are we
evolutionary
not taught humanism?
No,
humanism.
nobody talks.
Humanism, but not this evolutionary
No,
thing.
that's
But
bollocks.
the thing is, look,
We've got it wrong. We started off with a whole bunch of bloody religions who had an idea on things. Nobody could get anything correct.
that's
So-
not true.
Yeah, okay, well, that's your point of view. But if you had you've got a Christian perspective, you've got a sort of Hawaiian sort of a perspective, you've got all these other perspectives. You're in there. The actual how we got here is not important. It's what we do now. This is why this sort of modern sort of humanism
Sure, but-
started. With the idea of going, forget where you come from. Let's just work out a bunch of rules that will suit everybody, so you don't know the rule before you start. So your game, the game of life, is started where you have a rule. You don't know which cards you're going to pick up. You don't know whether you're going to be disabled. You don't know whether you're going to be poor. You don't know whether you're going to be rich. You don't know whether you're going to be gay. So you make the rules. You don't know whether you're going to be a paedophile. So you have a bunch of cards. And everyone's got to agree before the beginning of the game. Yeah, before the beginning of the game. Where are you? Should we make a rule against somebody being a paedophile? And the answer is yes. Or at least the actions of a paedophile rather than not. They can't do what's in your head. And you don't know if somebody's going to be gay or not. Should we make a rule? Well, no, you might pick that card. Are they causing any trouble to anyone else? No.
But you would have to make a rule because the book says.
Yeah,
You have to make a rule because the rule says.
Yes, you're taking away morality. You're just doing divine command.
All I'm saying is everything that you've said so far, I don't disagree with, but it's all subjective.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
No,
There is no
so,
objection.
no,
so is God subjective.
I don't agree with that part.
God is
I
subjective.
don't agree with that part
Subjective.
because
Subjective.
when somebody comes along and says, for example, and let me just define one issue where we disagreed about. When I was mentioning evolutionary humanism, I was talking about a man called Julian Huxley, who was a famous evolutionary biologist,
I know that.
and he was a philosopher as well.
Sort of.
Yeah, and what he used to do was he used to promote this idea of evolutionary humanism, right?
Yeah, but
And
that's his story, not mine.
sure.
I've already
So
studied it at home.
but he wrote a book called Religion Without Revelation, and in this book, what he basically said is we atheists need to evangelize the world of a new religion of evolutionary humanism.
Yeah, well, in which case it was
That's him, but not anybody
that's
else.
him. But
Well,
I mean, you cannot,
we sort of agree
yes, but
there.
I don't.
I don't use that word, but yeah, we
yeah,
agree
you
there.
can't,
I don't think evangelising anybody's a
you
good
can't
idea.
just jump down on one guy saying one thing
And
at
he's
one
in
point.
his 19th century.
Yeah, I mean, it's solid. I mean,
Okay.
otherwise, I could get you on every single philosopher who's ever spoken, and they all disagree with each other. If I pull one out, one religious guy out, I mean,
7 cameras.
Oh,
7
God, I mean,
cameras on Chicken Man.
unfortunately, I was brought up as a Catholic years ago, so I've only
Jung was religious in his
Okay,
own way.
but sir, one thing I want to say, this was not a random man. Julian Huxley was the
it never took off. It was an idea that
no, it did take off. It
It didn't take off.
It did
No,
actually
it
take off.
didn't. No, it didn't.
Okay.
It didn't.
I love your stick, but let me tell you why it did take off.
It didn't.
Okay.
It didn't with me.
Okay, sure.
Off.
Let me explain why. He was.
I know what he was. I've read his book.
Yeah. He was the first president of UNESCO,
So?
the United Nations Scientific, Cultural, and Educational Organization, which is like the headmasters of the world, right?
No, they're not.
And what he
No,
did
no,
is
no.
he
They're a
used that
man-made
platform
organisation.
to
No.
propagate
this is the problem.
atheism and propagate evolutionary humanism. So he was a very big figure, and the fact that a lot of us in the world today we believe in humanism, it did take off, which is why we're all talking about it.
This
It's
is
not important.
This is the problem.
It is.
It's not important.
You are used to
Give me some water.
things coming from authority. But so-and-so is an authority, therefore we should do it. Dawkins, for instance, is an authority on the glories of evolution or what have you. But as soon as he gets on to Brexit, he's a complete bloody nutter. So you got, we do not, there is no concept which is above the man who gave it.
I agree.
Just because you're a mathematician doesn't mean you know anything about art.
Yeah.
And they ask you about art because you're a mathematician.
Just because some of the greatest things in the world were invented by really pretty awful characters, it doesn't mean, they're dead, it doesn't matter. We move on. The fact that, Adolf Hitler built rather a good car, doesn't make Adolf Hitler a nice guy.
Or he's vegetarian too.
And he was a vegetarian, he loved his mum.
Doesn't
Well, he was
make-
Catholic. And he was Catholic.
Doesn't make vegans bad.
Yeah, it doesn't make anybody else bad. It's just the one guy.
Sure, I agree, but
Don't take
You're
us
so
seriously.
used in your psychology.
We don't accept these authorities you're saying.
Yeah.
no, that I agree with you there. But
we don't-
the majority of the schooling system in this country,
no, it
it
isn't.
teaches a type of humanism.
No, it doesn't. No,
It does.
No, it doesn't. There's C of E fields.
Well, it's been a while since we were at school.
C
So.
of E schools or C of E schools. Catholic schools are Catholic. You have an assembly in the morning that's a religious one, and I had to get special permission to say out.
Okay, do you know what? Let me prove it to you.
Oh, you won't prove it.
Okay, let me prove it to you.
What are you trying to prove?
I'm trying to prove about humanism being taught at schools
No, it's not.
as a religion.
No,
No, you cannot teach humanism as a
you
religion.
can't because there's nobody qualified.
I mean, in my children's
Okay,
school,
so-
they teach humanism as
Sure.
as a belief system, yes, but not as a religion.
It's not religion. It's not religion.
It's not a religion. I mean, it's by definition not a religion.
Okay.
It's a belief system.
It's a belief system.
And it is it is a moral system and a belief system, but it is not a religion.
Sure. I don't have a rule.
Sure. Now let me just explain. Let me just explain how humanism is being primed into school
But
children.
it's not humanism. It
Sure,
might be a lot of
sure.
things, but it's
Let me-
not
let me ju- let me ju-
humanism.
let me just give you
The
evidence.
humanist society would not say you're telling the truth.
Actually, they would.
They wouldn't say it's been told in every.
They would. And I'll tell you why.
Lying.
The Humanist
Because it's
Society has even the British Humanist Association.
Which I've known.
They've been lobbying the government to teach evolution at a younger age.
Evolution is not humanism.
I know, but
Sorry,
but
it
I'm.
isn't.
I
Even
agree.
against
I agree.
religion.
No, it's not.
I agree. But
No,
we're
I
speaking
don't
about
know.
evolutionary humanism. Now,
Yeah, no, you're talking about evolutionary.
Now, what I'm going to read out to
We're
you,
still not
what I'm
talking
going to
about
read out to you
fellows.
is this. I teach maths tuition, and I was teaching my cousin the other day. There's an AQA paper for 2017 or 2016 of biology, right? Now, what it basically does is this. It teaches about Darwin's theory, not an issue,
got it slightly wrong.
right? But then it goes into sociological issues, right? About priming people against religion. So here's one of the questions. In the 1870s, cartoons of Darwin looking like a monkey were published in magazines. The cartoons were published after Darwin wrote a book about the theory of evolution. Suggest one reason why cartoons of Darwin looking like a monkey were drawn.
I tell you what.
Right? No, sir. No, sir, 1 second. This is a sociological conditioning which they're making the kids think that only there was a religious opposition. Yes, but not. No, sorry.
Man and ape
Sir.
descended from the
Sir.
same common ancestor.
Sir.
And what they were
Sir,
taught
let
is
me just complete this.
ridicule Darwin. That's what
They're
they were
priming
doing.
kids. Look, sir, let me just complete this point.
they're ridiculing
Yeah,
Darwin.
sir, I didn't complete my point. They are priming kids to believe that religious opposition to Darwin is why Darwin was opposed.
Yes.
But this is historically incorrect.
No, it's not.
Let me
incorrect.
explain why. Let me explain why.
No, it's not incorrect.
Sir, 1 second. Religions did oppose him. That's true.
Still do.
But
Still do.
some of the people who opposed him were credible scientists, including Alfred Russel Wallace, who was the co-founder with Darwin of the theory of natural selection, and he was an atheist, and he disagreed with Darwin afterwards. And he did not disagree on religious grounds. He disagreed on scientific grounds. And likewise, sir, 1 second. Likewise, a whole host of.
I read the whole debate.
So let me just complete my point.
No, the whole debate is this. Religion said, he said, man and ape came from the same common ancestor. They're saying this is nonsense, so we're all apes then. Nah. That's what they were doing to Darwin. Exactly what they were
Sir,
doing.
but-
And he didn't even say that.
Sir, and he didn't say that. I agree with you. But religions were not the only people opposing his theory in the beginning.
No. 99%.
Okay. Let me give you some evidence.
I've read the original
Okay.
Victorian stuff. I know what they said.
I know. There's only one evidence I'm going to give you. Peter Bowler is a philosopher, is a historian of biology. He's the most prominent historian of biology.
I don't say.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, but here's what he says. He's written a book called The Eclipse of Darwinism. And what he says is at the beginning of the 20th century, Darwin's theory was being challenged by other non-Darwinian evolutionary theories.
I would challenge it.
Right? Yes.
Technical
Like, for example, Lamarckism before Darwin, orthogenetic evolution, and mutation-driven evolution, hopeful monsters. Right? So, what they're teaching in this paper is incorrect.
No.
Because they're look. Here's why I believe.
They're saying religion opposed it for this reason, which they did.
I love your energy, by the way.
Absolutely correct. What the whole.
Who cares? 100 years later,
Who cares
we
anyway?
all agree he was right in general.
In general, it was.
Do they believe that now?
What?
Do they believe that now?
80-90%.
In evolution, yes.
Yes.
But I mean, the natural selection is
a little bit more complicated.
It's more complicated.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, the Royal Society is the oldest society in the world, the oldest science society. Yeah, in 2016, biologists from across the world came together. Biologists who don't believe in God, don't believe in religion, anything like that. And the main question they were discussing in the Royal Society in 2016 is, was Darwin right in his main mechanism of natural selection? So to this day, we have differences amongst biologists about his theory, but the way it's taught at AQA level, at GCSE level, and at university level is true.
It's way above
fact.
that level you have to discuss. Way above.
Yeah, because I mean, all that stuff is right. I mean, basically, he's 90% right. There are a few exceptions.
Don't offer drinks to other people. They might have hepatitis, and I can give it to you in the bottle.
I hope you don't.
Only if you know. But the
You look like you can fight off hepatitis though, or any other disease. You've got some beans.
Beans.
it looks as if you fought it a lot.
Not those type of beans.
But I mean, the problem with Darwin is, he didn't have a lot to work on. The amount of people, biologists who've gone around the world, you can count on one hand. I mean,
So I'll tell you what the problem is.
So now we've found out more and more and more. We've had the DNA, the what have you. I mean, if you look at the phylogenetic tree that is now, which is the evolution of man, which goes through about 115 different things from the eukaryota, which are the first cells, all the way down to modern.
Well, prokaryotes came before that.
Yeah, but let's
right. Okay, 116 levels of where we split off from other animals and everything else. That's pretty much accepted by all
Sure,
evolution.
it's accepted by 99% evolutionary biologists, right?
No, the tree
but
is, but the process at each
The process is slightly different.
Sure,
split.
but when
can be
but when it says
slightly different one.
accepted, does it mean they believe it to be absolutely
No,
true?
it's hypothesis.
Good.
No. What is it? I'll tell you what.
It's still a theory,
The Marx.
but I mean, you can't
And
get
it's a
beyond it.
theory which can be challenged by data,
It is,
and
has
it's based
been
on
done.
assumptions,
Look,
and it's based on
But
probabilistic
Yeah,
framework.
nobody's saying it's wrong.
What they're saying
some
is
are.
it's not complete.
No,
It's
not
incomplete.
really. I mean, only Ken Ham and one or two others.
Look,
People
you-
who believe
like-
in Noah's Ark. I mean, you know.
No. I'm not talking about creationism or intelligent design. I'm speaking about, okay, the third way of evolution is a project run by non-religious biologists, and what they do is they challenge Darwin's theory using non-Darwinian evolutionary paradigms. But they still don't believe in God or intelligent design, anything like
It
that.
doesn't make much sense.
Can I sort it here? Look, the problem with Darwin, if you had just
I wish I had your energy.
the natural selection, it is very, very, very slow.
I agree.
But the evolution process in brains has been very, very, very fast. So there's something else. If you could show me evidence, and I've never seen any evidence, I've asked for it
Sir,
time and time
sir,
again, never.
Sir, the whole world is evidence.
That's not evidence.
But
That's not.
no, but there's a
That's
caveat
evidence
here.
of anything.
But if a person
It says it's the devil put
If a
that there. And
person
you, it's all
sincerely
your fault.
asks for guidance, they will see evidence everywhere. If somebody does not want guidance or does not seek it, they will not see evidence anywhere.
Okay, I
But
don't
how
see it.
come people go and seek evidence and guidance from God? They just end up thinking different things to each other.
I can't access someone's mind.
Different sect.
I can't know whether somebody sincerely asked for guidance, they didn't get it. I can only
Shia
give
versus
you.
Sunni.
Well, no, Shias are still Muslim.
Shia versus Sunni.
But we're speaking about atheism and Islam.
Oh no, they were given. They got revelations, but they have different
No,
revelations.
no, but they don't. They believe in the Quran. The Shias believe in the
What
Quran.
about Christianity?
Yeah, but they also believe about descendants of Muhammad. And other people say that's bollocks.
There's a couple of guys over
no,
there. who-
Nobody can be.
It's a little bit more complicated than that.
No,
it is a little bit more
who
complicated than
was
that.
assassinated?
We do
can,
this-
Can you? But is a son or a daughter of somebody as holy
They
as
believe
they
in
are,
look.
or can we accept that?
Long story short, they
I've
believe in
read all
God. They believe in God. We believe in God.
I've read the
Well,
history. It's that thick. And
Wait, it's
I've
longer
all
than that.
No, it's two big books from Cambridge and another one, and these on top.
But if you don't read any book about Islam,
It
Cambridge is
it's
not
a-
the place.
it is- no, this is the origin. It's a studious work.
But if you've got
Done by Orientalists, most likely.
Done by people who were doing history. They talk about the early caliphates and they had wars, constant wars.
But which
For
civilization did not?
If they were all thinking the same thing, why
So
did they all
let's
start
look at.
believing
Okay,
different
so for example, atheism, right? Atheists fight each other.
things? Yeah, but
The
they're
Soviet
not, it's not a
Union.
belief. It's a non-belief. It's not positive. It's a
That's
negative.
fine. Even if you want to
It's
call it a
not a belief
non-belief.
in. It's a belief
Oh,
there
hang
isn't.
on.
It's
Well,
different.
that's your definition of atheism.
that's
Other people have
anybody's.
different definitions.
No, there isn't. It's only do not believe in God.
No, that's your definition.
No, that
No,
is
that
the,
is
is
the
the
definition.
definition.
Okay, sir. What about
This is
people?
not- this is not
What
a
about
different sort of
strong
belief in
atheism,
God.
weak atheism, mesotheism, agnostic atheism?
Agnostic, they're not atheists. They're agnostics. There's no agnostics.
Okay,
agnostic is to
but there is
know,
such a thing as
yes.
agnostic atheism.
Agnostic-
And you guys can't agree amongst
No,
yourselves. So if you want to say
no,
Shia Sunni, same with you guys.
There's no such thing.
Atheism is point blankly just don't believe in God. Agnosticism.
See, you don't believe in God.
So show us
What does that
evidence.
mean? That's a claim.
We don't know if it's unknowable or not.
No, it's
Let's
just
say
an
something.
I mean, otherwise, you know, you're a non-stamp collector. I mean, if you want to put it in a category as a... No, because all I'm saying is
It's
I
a-
don't
it-
believe.
sure.
Yes, it is a claim that I don't believe. Yes.
That's a
That
claim.
is a claim. So there is no way...
And there's
you
no
can
evidence
battle
for that.
What?
There's no evidence for that
No,
claim.
because it's personal.
No,
That's fine.
No,
I
it's
agree.
not.
I agree with you
You
totally.
have to show evidence for us to believe something. We don't have to show evidence for
But
us.
I mean, you
Okay,
know,
sir, let me ask you a
if you
question.
believe cheese doesn't
This
taste
stick
very-
here,
Which thing?
this stick that you're holding,
What stick talks? What stick's that?
You're a funny guy, man. This stick here, okay.
Yeah.
Right, this stick here. Do I have to prove it doesn't have a designer? Or do you have to prove it has a designer?
It's a stick. It's a
And
manufactured
it has carvings. It has a little rubber ball at the bottom. You're obviously holding it. It's got a certain shape.
It's a manufactured article.
Exactly.
Therefore, but these aren't manufactured articles.
No, but that's your
We're not getting
assumption.
to the watchmaker, I think, are we?
Absolutely.
Because
That's your assumption.
Yeah.
So if you're
I
saying
tell you-
I need to
tell you-
prove that I need
you
to
do.
no, but you disagree.
Because I can't see
No,
the maker.
no.
There's no stamp that made by God.
Yeah, but I didn't see who made this.
yes, but you can see it's made.
That isn't.
By looking at that, if anybody says there is no designer, the onus is on them to prove it.
No,
Right,
for
no.
design-
And
no,
my eye
no,
is
it's
more
just different
complicated
from
than any
no.
camera in the world. My brain
Okay.
is more complicated than any computer.
Okay, look,
Same with the computer.
No, you're
So
right.
the atheists need to
Confusing two
disprove the
arguments.
designer.
No.
You don't need to prove one.
You're confused.
No, you've got to think. Where's your? Okay, fine. The trees were designed by somebody, or whatever, if you like. Now show me something that wasn't designed by God.
I don't believe anything was not designed.
Oh, I don't
Well,
believe.
then, let's just
Where's your evidence? Where's your
This
evidence?
is the problem. You're trying to get an economy with some people saying, I mean, why bother with the designer when everything looks exactly the same whether it's designed or undesigned? I mean, you're in an unnatural world. You haven't got anything that's undesigned. You would pick up something and go, oh, this looks designed. That's been designed by God.
So what does
This
that
has been
show?
designed by
That
God.
shows-
So you're pointing to a stick.
This
That's
is
something that's been built.
This is manufactured articles. They aren't.
Yes.
They come
Okay.
whether I have this stick or not.
Sure, sir. Why is this manufactured?
Because it's a stick with a ferrule on it.
Right, and a carving and whatnot. Okay,
Yeah, that's what I did.
sure. Do you know that every single cell in your body has more information than all the books in the British Library?
What do you mean by information?
I
we're
mean
getting into that one, right.
specified complexity, coding, which tells the body how to function. I could take your cell and make a blueprint out of it.
It doesn't actually do
So
that.
clearly, if this is manufactured, so is that. But sir, look, we're not going to agree.
It also depends on the acidity
Sir,
and alkalinity of the environment.
Sir, we're not going to, sir, we're not going to agree, and the reason we're not going to agree is not the evidence, but the way we approach the evidence. If you approach the evidence from a perspective there is no God, all
No,
you'll see there is
I
no
say
God.
show me.
But if I come
Show
to the
me.
evidence with an open
Show
mind,
me. Show
you
me
don't
the
even
evidence
need
for
to
God.
think that long.
Does it say God on the tree or you? No.
Yes, but does it say God on the stick?
No, because it's a made article.
Exactly.
You're not a made article like the tree.
No, but
You
that's an
exist
assumption.
forever. No,
That's an
unless
assumption.
Unless your parents had nothing to do with it. Maybe it's beamed down from another planet. Anyway,
We're not going to agree because of our a prior beliefs, but it's great speaking to you. What's your name?
Stickman.
Charles.
Charles, good to see you guys. Thanks for your time.